Welcome to Yoga for Endurance Athletes and Normal People too. It is a gorgeous day in Wisconsin, one of those few spring days. I've already went out for a ride, got a bike tan already. It's a good day. We are going to we're going to focus a little bit on core work today. My little dog is wandering around here someplace and may be joining us. So we'll start in our seated position and work on breathing down into our belly. And then when we exhale, just letting the air come out. So it's like you're pushing against, the waistband of your pants or your shorts. And then relaxing. All right. Take your right hand, put it on your left knee, left hand behind you. Inhale and lift up your collarbones. And on the exhale, rotate your shoulders so that you're kind of looking behind you. Then inhale, come back a little. Exhale and rotate. Exhale and rotate. Here comes the small dog. Hello, small dog. How you doing, Pop? Yeah. What's going on? You gonna come hang out with us? And good. Now let's come to the other side. Left hand on your right knee this time. Right hand behind you. And then inhale and rotate. So we're trying to keep, when we're inhaling and lifting up your collarbones, you're trying to create a bit of a straight back, so that you're feeling this in your lower back as you rotate. Good. All right, then have your right hand on the mat, and we're going to lift up with your left hand and just try to come over as you exhale. And we're going to try to open up our left side body. Inhale up, exhale, rotate. Well, not really rotate, you're kind of just leaning over. We're trying to open up, excuse me, the right side body. I'm sorry, the left side body, open up that. And one more time. Wow, talk about breathing in the wrong spot. All right, let's go to the other side. Left hand down, right hand up. And try to now open up our right. So I'm not sure this qualifies as a dad joke, but I went outside and there were people throwing like Stephen King books. Stephen King, like the horror author, they were throwing books at people. They were just throwing books. And I couldn't figure out why until it hit me. Yeah, okay. I know, it's pretty lame. And one more. Good. I've decided that I should start these classes, any sessions that I have, with dumb jokes, because then people will recognize. We're going to come forward onto our hands and knees. This is not a normal yoga class. All right, we're going to practice our movement with the breathing into cows and cats, so that we'll inhale with cow and drop your belly, lift up your head, stick out your butt a little bit, and then start to exhale with cat and arch your back, bring in your hips and drop your head. Inhale, and then exhale, arching the cat. Inhale into cow, you drop your belly and lift your head. Exhale into our angry cat. And one more. All right, so we'll do some bird dogs to start activating, start working a little bit of our core muscle. And by core, people often think just your belly, but it's really from your shoulders to your hips. It's kind of your torso. So we'll start by extending your left hand and then your right foot. And you can leave your toes on the ground if you wish, or you can lift up your right heel. So you're starting to feel like there's a little bit of work being done by your right butt cheek. And you can stay here, or you can bring in your left elbow and right knee. And then come back and extend. And inhale and exhale. It's kind of backwards breathing from what we normally do. And good. We'll come down, back onto all fours. Get your balance and your breathing. Extend your right hand and your left toe. Lift up your left heel if you feel like you can. Stay here or try the crunches. Right elbow into left knee. And extend and come back. We're going to come into a puppy pose just for a moment. And puppy is leaving your knees and hips just where they are and extending your hands. And in puppy pose, we are simply trying to bring our collarbones close to the mat. So you're creating back bend. Inhale up, exhale back. Inhale up, exhale back. So anytime we come into a downward dog, if that is too much for you, you can always come into a puppy. Okay, let's curl your toes under, and we'll come into a downward dog. Maybe just for a couple of moments. Inhale up in your tiptoes. Exhale, come down on your right heel. Inhale up on your tiptoes. Exhale on your left heel. Inhale up, come down on both heels. Try to drop your collarbones a little farther. Now push your torso away with your arms. Good. Let's inhale. Look at the top of the mat and exhale and walk your feet forward into a forward fold. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale to a forward fold. And inhale all the way up into a mountain, arms overhead, and then hands down to heart center. Good. Forgive me one moment. I'm going to close the door before dog yells at me. All right, we are back. Heart center. We're going to do a few sun salutations and hold our plank poses. So it's inhale, bring our arms up overhead, swan dive down to the mat into a forward fold. Inhale to a half lift. And here we're going to put our hands down, walk your feet back into a plank. We're just going to hold a plank. In plank, you don't want to have a completely straight body. You want to have your hips up just a little bit. Think about inhaling into your belly and then letting it come out and push back to a downward dog. We'll do that a few times. Inhale, look at the top of the mat, and as you exhale, walk your feet forward. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale all the way up, arms overhead. Flip your hands around. Tip over at your hips and come into a swan dive. So you exhale. Inhale into a half lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. Bring your feet back. You can jump back if you feel like it, but come into a plank. Good. Inhale and exhale back to a downward dog. Good. Inhale, look to the top of the mat and walk your feet forward into a forward fold. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale to a forward fold all the way up. And we'll swan dive back. So flip your hands around, bring your arms down as you tilt forward. Inhale into a half lift. Exhale, forward fold. I just forgot something. Inhale back to a half lift. I'm sorry. Put your hands on the mat and in your plank pose. Hold this plank. Inhale into your belly. Try to bring your belly into your rib, into your spine. There you go. Inhale and then exhale back to a downward dog. Nicely done. Good. And inhale. And as you exhale, walk your feet forward into a half lift. Exhale into a half lift here. Forward fold. I just misspoke again. All the way up. And this time, bring your hands together. And as you exhale, bring your hands to heart center. And then bring your hands to your side. And we'll be in mountain pose, or also known as standing at attention pose. So now we'll focus on breathing back into our belly. Good. So we'll come into our main sequence of poses tonight. So crescent lunge into a bind with a crescent lunge, into a twist with a crescent lunge. And then we'll do this really cool transition into a warrior two. And then we'll come into a triangle, all of which will stress our core front and back. So let's inhale, take a step back with your right foot. We're going to come into a crescent lunge. So that means that both legs, both feet are facing forward and are about shoulder width apart. Now, you've got some options. The goal on the exhale is to be leaning back so you feel the whole opening wow, in your, this is from riding in the nice clean air. So you feel your hip flexors open. So you can have your hands at your side, you can have your hands at your shoulders, or you can have your hands overhead. When you have your hands overhead, that works your core the most, obviously, because you're holding your arms up. Is to relax your torso. The exhale, lean back and try to look at the ceiling, which messes with your balance. The exhale is also trying to push your back heel into the mat. Breathe into your belly. as you come forward, and then let the exhale just escape from you. Good. All right, now inhale, then exhale, bring your hands behind you and clasp them. And I'm just going to turn sideways for a second. So with your hands behind you, the inhale is to your torso up. The exhale is to pull your hands down so that your shoulder blades come together. Shoulders, joints come back. And inhale and exhale. So it's like you're trying to up to the ceiling. Exhale, open. And we're just going to do one more of these. Then we'll inhale, bring your hands to heart center. Now, we're only going to do a couple of breaths of these because they're really quite challenging. So our hands are at heart center. We're going to do a crescent lunge twist. So the goal will be to bring your right elbow to your left knee. So inhale and rotate. And you'll feel this all in your left glute. The inhale is obviously to untwist a little. And the exhale is try to twist. All right, so now we're going to come into our really cool transition. Take your right hand, bring it up overhead, drop your back heel, and come in to a warrior two. That was fun. So now our heels are pretty lined up. Good. You're in your warrior two. So the inhale is to open your shoulders a little bit. The exhale is to open your shoulders and get your hands as far apart as possible. And then reach on the exhale. Inhale, reach. So think about your knee being over your ankle. Sometimes it's easy to roll it in. Make sure you roll it back out. Back leg is straight. Last one. All right, now with our triangle, we're going to try and keep our torso just like it is. Bring your right hand up and your left hand inside of your knee and just bring your arm up. Good. So the inhale is to let your right arm down. The exhale is to bring it up into the air. The goal in triangle is to have a pretty flat back. Good. One more. Good. Now, we're going to slowly come up, straighten this leg. Now, both feet are facing forward. We're just going to come down into a wide stance, forward fold, just to get some of the stress out of our glutes that are back. You can have your hands on the mat. You can have your hands on your shins or on your knees. You're just feeling this in your inner thighs and in your hamstrings. Good. Now we're going to slowly roll up. And we're going to rotate your feet. So now your right foot is forward and your left foot is back. And we're going to come into our crescent lunge. All right, here we go. Arms are up. Maybe you can hear my little dog barking at the world. Inhale, lean back on the exhale. That's it. Good. Whoa. There you go. Really focus on pushing your heel back into the mat. Inhale, exhale, bring your hands down behind you in the bind. Clasp your hands together. Inhale, and then exhale, bring your hands down as far as they will go. And your collarbones up in the air. So pushing your back heel into the mat. A little bit less balance. Bring your hands together at the front in heart center prayer pose. Now we're going to do the twist. Now our left elbow is coming to our right knee. Inhale and rotate your torso. There you go. Inhale and come back. Exhale and rotate. Good. Here comes our fun transition. Your left hand comes up over the top, drop your back heel, and come into a warrior two. Nice. Good on the same work. Check your front knee first of all. Check your torso so that it's straight up and down, and you can feel that by feeling the weight on your back leg. All right. Inhale, relax your shoulders, kind of open them up, and exhale, shoulders forward and backwards. Reach with your hands, look out over your front as if you're challenging. I don't know if you've ever seen the Matrix, but he extends his hand, flips it over. Come on, right before he fights. I forgot the villain. All right, one more breath here. Good. And now, here we go. Come into our triangle. Inhale, straighten your front leg. Reach with your right hand. I think I forgot this last time. We're just tilting over. Right hand inside of your right knee. Lift your left hand up. Inhale, and then exhale, bring your left shoulder up and back. I wonder if you study dogs barking enough, you can tell if they are barking to just bark, like teenagers just talk to be heard, or there's a warning, or they need something. It's like when babies, okay, here we go. Inhale, it's like when babies are crying, we don't really know what's going on. Both feet forward. Not that I know much about babies. Here we go, down in our wide stance, forward fold, and just let your torso hang here. Now, watch this great transition. Put your hands on the mat, walk your feet back to a plank. Good work. All right, now from here, you can simply drop. We're gonna come onto our belly. You can drop on your knees and come down, or you can come onto a low plank, hold it for a second, and then release and come back. So we're gonna come into some locust poses. And locust pose starts with your chin on the mat, your hands at your side, on your back of your hands, feet extended, so the top of your toes are on the mat. And then I'm going to do this in a wave so you can kind of participate as you can or as you are able to. So first I'm going to lift my hands off the mat on my shoulders. my torso and get as high up here as I can. And I'll stay here, or you can then lift up your feet or your knees, so that basically the only thing that's on the mat is your belly. And when you inhale, you're rocking up and down because your inhale is into your belly. So it kind of feels you're squeezing your booty and your lower back. And now let's come on down. Come on down on your left cheek. Just rest a moment. We're going to do another option here. All right. Now, you can stay just where you are. We're going to do another locust, or you can extend your arms and we'll come into a superhero. So a superhero is going to be the same thing. You can extend your hands and your feet. Your hands back a little bit hard, and again, dig into your belly so that you're rocking up and down. Good. One more breath. And then relax. Good. Come on down to your right cheek. And this one will be another option. You can come and do another locust. You can do another superhero, or you can try and get into a bow pose. And a bow pose is grabbing a hold of an ankle, and then the other ankle. Or you can just do a half a bow and just grab one. And this might be enough just to grab it here. And if you can, lift up your torso. You can even try to lift up your knees if you breathe into your belly. Good. And then release your feet. There's really no elegant way of doing this transition. So come on up on your torso. Walk your hands or your feet through and come on to your back with your knees in the air and your feet on the ground. All right, so now we're going to come into a bridge pose. Hands are on your side, palms down. Your heels are as close to your butt as you can. And in a bridge, all we're really going to work on is bringing your hips up in the air. Okay, if you can, you're pushing your hips up as high as you can, squeezing your booty like you have gas in church, and you're just squeezing and holding as hard as you can. This is powerful work for especially the back of your torso, your lower back and your glutes. Breathe into your belly and then relax. We're just going to do one more of those. Good. Inhale. And as you exhale, bring your hips up again. Push your hips up as high as they will go. If you want to this time, you can take your hands and underneath your back, you can clasp your hands. This is with a bind. This kind of just gets you up a little higher on your shoulders. Breathe into your belly. That's the hard part, but it's kind of fun because you can see your belly increase here. And relax and then come down. All right, now from here, we're just going to do a quick figure four pose. So the goal here is to take your right knee. You're going to bring your right ankle onto your left knee. And our goal is to take our right knee and bring it towards our left shoulder. So you've got a couple of options. The easiest is probably to take your right hand and wrap it around your right knee and your left hand is on your ankle, and you're just going to pull, and you're going to feel this back in your right glute. So it's all the way across. And the more that you are able to pull your knee across your torso, the more you will get at the mobility. So obviously the inhale is to relax. The exhale is to pull. Just gently. And you're just not doing a lot of work. You're just letting your knee come forward. And one more breath. Exhale. Good. And then relax this. Now let's bring your left ankle onto your right knee. And we'll do the same thing. This time I'm going to grab my left ankle with my right hand and my left knee with my left hand and try to bring my left knee towards my left shoulder. Inhale and relax, exhale, and just gently pull. Sounds like the birds outside are also happy that it's warm. It rained a whole bunch last night. So this morning, all the worms were out. That is a sure sign that spring is here. My dog, thankfully, is not interested in eating the worms. But there are so many new smells, so our walks now take a lot longer because there's a lot of things to smell. One more. Good. Good. Roll yourself up. Stand to your feet, and we'll come into a seated forward fold. You can have a block underneath your knees if that's comfortable, but basically what we're going to do is inhale yourself as your torso as straight as possible, and then on the exhale, just reach forward. Try to reach for your toes, but above your toes, so that you keep your, the back relatively straight. Good. Inhale and exhale. Just a couple more. Inhale and then exhale. Good. All right, let's come into a seated position. Find our breath. Oh, my hips are definitely more open now. It feels good. All right, find your breathing into your belly. Think again of the namaste, the word that we use to end our practices, and how it means gratitude, holding a sense of gratitude. So it's a very active word of what things we are grateful for in the universe. Think of those things that we are grateful for. And then let's bring our hands to our side, and we'll inhale and bring your arms up overhead, and then hands together and hands to heart center. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, and we do this, bring your arms up, kind of symbolically collect the good energy, and then on the exhale here, we're bringing it inside of us, so that we, as we inhale, can then share that with others and that sense of gratitude. All right, I appreciate your presence here today. Inhale, exhale, namaste. All right, thanks for joining us tonight. As always, check out more yoga on the Simple Endurance Coaching webpage. It's Simple Endurance Coaching /yoga. We also have coaching packages and programs and strength training. It is that time of year where we are outside and we need to keep up with our yoga and our strength training. Sometimes it can be the same thing. We'll talk to you soon. If you have questions, please email me, send me text messages. Let's talk. Talk to you soon. Bye.